Hey, what is going on guys, this is Tharshey and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're going to be having a look at the best build for Frodo and Sam in Lord of the Rings Rise to War. So if you guys do enjoy this video, then please do drop a like, comment and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to turn on those post notifications. Anyway, let's get straight into it. So quickly, I just want to do a quick disclaimer, and that is I'm assuming everyone watching this video does have their Frodo and Sam at R5, because you have to have him at R5, okay, in order for this build to work. So please make sure you do have him at respect level 5. Anyway, let's get straight into it. So the first thing we're going to be having a look at, or that we're going to be talking about, is the troops that you're going to use on him. So unlike most commanders, this is not completely like, you know, you have to use so and so. Honestly, you can put any 3 troops on him, 1 command of each, and you will do fine. Like that's honestly it. Just put 1 command of 3 different types of troops and you'll do just fine. However, if you want him to do that tiny bit better, or have that slightly higher chance of doing better in combat, then you're going to want to try put troops that can survive for longer. Example, sentinels with their skill maxed out, because sentinels have their evasion skill, which gives them their first instance of damage that they would receive, they can evade it, and there's a 100% chance, so they evade the first damage received. So try put troops like that will allow you to survive slightly longer. Sentinels with evasion, or any other unit that allows them to either evade damage or take reduced damage or something like that. Anyway, onto the gear. So in terms of gear, you're going to want to get focus based gear, so something like a Spear of the Rangers, or if you're going purple, which is probably recommended, is a Carver, which gives might and focus. Though honestly it doesn't really matter that much, because we're basically just going, well, it's basic. Frodo and Sam is a very RNG dependent commander, which means him working is dependent on a percentage chance of a skill activating. But still, if you do have good gear and you do want to, you know, gear him up and give him nice stuff, then go with something like a Carver. In terms of chest piece, go with something like a quilted armor, or if you have a elven cloak, you can do that as well. It gives focus and commander speed, which is great. In terms of the helmet, you can give him something like an honor case. However, a bone mask with maxed out hysteria is the best, because every 2 rounds against 1 enemy unit, there's a chance to inflict madness, which obviously increases as you refine it. In terms of accessory, anything goes really. Something focus based is best, obviously. Something like a 1-hour smoking pipe is what I would give him if I had a spare one. Now onto his skills. So what are we going to give him? Well, let's reset that first of all. And now, this is the most important part, okay? We're going to max out his ring bearers, okay? So we're going to put 15 points into ring bearers. And after we max this out, we can go on to the next one. So let's just keep tapping this. I wish I could just click on it and click assign like all or whatever. That would be nice, but it's fine. So there we go. Now with ring bearers maxed out, all allies 20% chance to evade physical damage each round. Commander 25% chance of succumbing to madness. Max level effect focus plus 15. And you're like, okay, why is this so important? The skill itself is not. But what is important is maxing it out so that we can max out its sub skill. And that sub skill is Ring of Terror. So Ring of Terror is extremely important, because maxed out, this is going to give you first 2 rounds against enemy commander and units. There's a 70% chance of inflicting madness each round. So against the enemy commander and each of its units, there's a 70% chance that you can inflict madness on them. And if you inflict madness, they're going to go and attack their own units and basically nuke themselves. So this is the crux of his build. The most important part, the most important skill in this build is Ring of Terror, and you're going to want to max that out. Now you're going to have extra points left over. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it into Elven Robe. I know this only activates on round 4, and against, you know, each round against 1 enemy unit, 90% chance to inflict stun for 3 rounds. It's decent, but are you going to be alive by round 4? Most probably not, so whatever. If you are, then yeah, you're going to stun 1 enemy unit, which means less attacks coming in. But what we're actually going to do next is we're going to go and max our Master Bag again. So the reason why this is important, I mean, the stat itself is whatever, base stats from equipment plus 20%, or actually 30% maxed out. But what is more important is its sub skill. So if we look at Prudence, first 2 rounds, all allied units have a chance to evade damage, and it also decreases their damage by 30%. However, that's not important, because remember, you're going to have one command only of 3 different unit types. One command is not going to do any damage to anyone. So decreasing the damage by 30% is absolutely no loss to yourself. But what is absolutely important about Prudence is first 2 rounds, all allied units have a 50% chance to evade damage. The reason why this is so important is because obviously first 2 rounds against enemy commander and unit, 70% chance to inflict madness. So you have 2 rounds to try and inflict madness. But if the enemy has 3 unit types plus the commander, that is 4 attacks coming in a round, minimum if they don't have any follow-up or anything that grants an extra attack. 4 attacks, you have 3 units, 1 command each. Each of those attacks is probably enough to wipe out your one command of units. So you're going to want to try and avoid that. So obviously, if you have sentinels, that is going to be 1 attack gone already, which leaves 3 attacks left. 3 attacks is enough to kill your 3 units. So by having Prudence, now you have a 50% chance for each of your units to evade that incoming damage. If they evade it, that's perfect, because then you get a second round, round 2, to try and inflict madness again on your opponents. So the most important part of this build is 15 points into Ring Bearers, 7 points into Ring of Terror, 15 points into Master Bag End, and 7 points into Prudence. So that is going to cost you 44 points in total, 15, 30, 7, 14, that's 44 points. And you're going to have another 5 points, another 6 points if you have me at level 50, and if you also, and respect 5 as well will be another 5, so that's going to give you 11 extra points. If you do have him a slightly higher respect, or you've imparted wisdom on him, then you're going to have more skill points, and that you can pretty much put into whatever you want. So like, I mean, honestly, you can put it into tips if you use him as a tip commander, or if you are using men or hobbit units, then put your skill points into Hobbit Adventurer. So the reason you want to put it into Hobbit Adventure is because, well, hobbits and men damage received minus 15% maxed out, right? So I can't max out right now, so I only get minus 13%. But if you do have, you know, it maxed out and you have minus 15% damage, that's going to help you out just a little bit, because if you're one of those 3 units, you know, are a men unit or a hobbit unit, they're going to take 15% less damage. And if the enemy that attacks it, or if it's a commander that just doesn't do a lot of damage, maybe some of that 1 command will survive to the next round, which will give you another chance to inflict madness. So the build that I recommend for Frodo and Sam is 15 points into Ring Bearers, 7 points into Ring of Terror, 15 points into Master Bag End, 7 points into Prudence, and then if you're using men or hobbit units, put 15 points into Hobbit Adventurer next, and then put your remaining points into Elven Rope. Okay, let me just repeat that, because obviously it's not what I did here. I put points into Elven Rope first. That's an error on my part. 15 points first into Ring Bearers, next 7 points into Ring of Terror, third is going to be 15 points into Master Bag End, fourth will be 7 points into Prudence, fifth will be 15 points into Hobbit Adventure if using men or hobbit units, and then lastly any extra points will go into Elven Rope and other skills. Okay, so that is going to be your build for Frodo and Sam. It's dependent on him, on his units surviving as long as possible, so that he can use his first 2 rounds to try and inflict madness on the enemy, and by doing that, hopefully cause the enemy to deal a lot of damage to themselves. So let's have a quick overview of this video. So first things first, in terms of units, you're going to want to use 1 command of 3 different units. So the 3 units you can use are completely up to you. However, if you do have a unit that can survive a attack, for example sentinels with evasion, unless someone is attacking in pursuit, then use those units instead. Okay, 1 command of each only. So that's like 100 sentinels, 100 guardians, 100 guards of the tower, whatever you want to use. Next, in terms of gear, you're going to want to go for focus based gear, something like a carver for the weapon, something like a quilted armor or elven cloak for the chest piece. For the helmet, a bone mask with Hysteria maxed out is the best, but if you don't have that and you just want to get some focus on him, you can go with an armor case. Finally, for an accessory, any focus based accessory is fine, whether it's a worn out smoking pipe or a hit lane, that is up to you. In terms of the build, you're going to want to start off by putting 15 points into Ring Bearers, 7 points into Ring of Terror, followed by 15 points into Master Bag End and 7 points into Prudence. Then you're going to want to put 15 points into Hobbit Adventure and all remaining points into Elven Rope or any other point skill you want. Honestly, at that point you can put it into whatever you want. I would recommend Elven Rope, but if you want to do Ent Friend for some reason because you're using a unit of Ents on him, then go for that. Giant Slayer is not going to do anything, but if you want to put it in there, put it in there. or you can even put it into Starlight, but doesn't really matter. I would recommend Elven Robe for all your remaining points. Anyway, if you guys did enjoy this video, please do drop a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to turn on those post notifications. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one.